But really, for the most part, junk wax era sports cards can definitely be profitable. So my name is Eric from ReliableResellers.net, and today is Friday, June 18th. And the video I have for you today is about whether or not junk wax era sports cards are profitable. Now, I think this one is tricky because the long and short answer to that question is, potentially, it's maybe. Junk wax era cards are tricky and they're tough, right? So, I mean, if you're watching my video, you already know this. So, I get a lot of phone calls, especially since putting those signs out for people calling looking to sell sports cards. And even before that, I have the one park bench and some ads up on Facebook and Nextdoor and stuff like that. So I've been getting calls to go out and look at people's sports cards collections. And it's mostly been 80s and 90s junk wax era stuff, right? It's just not anything I can do anything with when they're the loose cards that are just beat up, right? They're cards that people, when they were a kid, right, they went and bought the 1990 Score baseball or Topps baseball cards, and they took them out of the pack and threw them in a shoebox, and they've had the shoebox up in an attic, for the last 20 years. And they think, okay, well, maybe now there's some money here. And, potentially, but in order for those cards to be valuable, in order for a junk wax era card to be valuable for the most part, you're going to have to send it off to get graded for a fee, of course, and then that card is going to have to come back as a 10. You're pretty much going to have to send it to PSA. I mean, there's some other ones you can send it to, but to PSA, and it's going to have to come back as a 10. If it doesn't, for most cards, if it doesn't, and it comes back as a 9, it really isn't worth the effort, and it just really isn't worth the cost of grading, really, in my opinion. Now, maybe your business model is different, and so just take that for what it is. But from my perspective and from what I've experienced doing this, the junk wax cards can be valuable, but you have to get them if you're talking about loose cards. You have to get them in really, really, really pristine condition. You need to take your jeweler's eye with you or whatever you have to look at these cards up close before you commit to buying them, because yes, they can be profitable, the loose cards, but really where I have found to make the most money in the junk wax era stuff is with the factory seal packs and the factory seal boxes. That's where I've made the most money on junk wax era cards. I have a lot of stuff here I want to show you guys from the sales from just the last month and a half or so from that purchase that I did. So if you guys remember, I don't know, a month and a half ago now or so, whatever it was, 2 months ago, there's a video up on my channel where I talk about where I spent $700 and I bought junk wax era sports cards. And there were some Marvel cards in there as well, if you remember. And so I want to kind of show you guys, and then at the end we'll break down all the numbers and I'll kind of show you exactly what I spent on grading. Well, I already told you $700 on the cards, and another $300 on grading. That's $1,000. But I'll break down exactly what I spent, how much I made in total, what the total profit is, what the hourly rate was. It's pretty decent. But really what you're looking for and what I'm going to start looking for more, when people call me, right, and they say they have cards, and if they say they're from the 80s and 90s, what I'm just going to ask them is, are they open cards? Are they loose cards, or do you have factory seal boxes and factory seal packs? If they're not factory seal boxes and factory seal packs, then from my perspective and my business model, the junk wax era stuff is just not worth my time. I will still go and look potentially, just because, who knows, maybe they really do have, some Gem Mint 10 sitting there, potentially. So it doesn't hurt to go and look, depending how far away they are and whatnot. But really, for the most part, junk wax era sports cards can definitely be profitable, but you got to be careful and you got to get in my opinion, you want to get the factory seal boxes. That's where the money's at. If you can get it for a good price. And again, that's not to say there's not money to be made if you get some of those Gem Mint 10 cards. And I know the Jordan and some of the other stuff from that era, right? There's a few players whose cards doesn't have to be a 10, but we're talking about for the most part, right? And you're not gonna find, for the most part, you're not going to just go over to somebody's house who has junk wax era cards and they're going to have a Jordan rookie sitting there. I mean, maybe you're going to be lucky, but it's going to be hit and almost never happen, or miss and almost never happen, or whatever. It's not going to happen, right? So anyway, I want to show you guys, what I did. So we're going to start with the Marvel stuff. If you guys remember, there was 10 boxes. 11, I have one put back for myself that is still put back, but there was 10 of these factory sealed Marvel boxes that I got 180 bucks a piece on for all 10 of them. I had them listed initially for 200 bucks and they weren't moving. I dropped them to 180 and they flew off the shelf in a matter of like 3 or 4 days. 180 bucks, 10 of them. That's $1,800. Now I get it, this isn't technically a sports card. It's just kind of from that era, but it's just part of the purchase I made. I will factor this out at the end, but I did want to show it because this was part of that $700 purchase from that video. So, and I will also say that not everything from that video has sold yet. I do still have quite a bit still up. So far here, we've sold 2 of these, and you'll notice these are all going to be factory sealed boxes. So not a ton of money here, but hey, 15 bucks a piece. Buyer paid for shipping. A lot of 2 of these guys. Again, just 89, 90 Upper Deck baseball cards. Right? I mean, I got $22 plus shipping on those. Again, I know that's not big money. The bigger stuff is a couple tabs away, but this was just part of it, and it all does add up. So here were some of the loose cards. This wasn't actually the junk wax stuff. I didn't mean to put that in there. So this was one of the loose cards he had. If you guys remember, this was something I set off to SGC to get graded. It came back. It was an 8. I still don't know why it was an 8, but basically got my money back for grading on that one because it was 30 bucks to grade the card. So and this was free shipping. So I probably didn't make anything on that one. But my money back. Here was a lot of 5 1990 score NHL hockey. The boxes were open, but it was all factory sealed packs on the inside. For all 5 boxes, we got 85 bucks. Sorry, I gotta remember to scroll down to show the picture. So we got 85 bucks for all 5 boxes of those. Here was a lot of 2 unopened 1990-91 NBA Hoops Series 2 factory seal boxes. Got 130 bucks for the lot of 2 of those. So here we had 5 of these. We had 5 Skybox Series 2 factory sealed boxes. 1990-91, right in the heart of the junk wax era. We got 50 bucks a box. We had 5 boxes. I mean, that's 250 bucks right there. Okay, these were just some, weren't exactly sports cards, but again, it was part of that purchase. We only got $27 for those, but hey, it all adds up. All right, here we had 2 of these. These were some 1991 Fleer basketball cards. We got 70 bucks a box for those. We had 3 boxes of 1990, 1991 score baseball cards. I mean, this is, like these are kindling for starting fires, right? I mean, for the most part, and I got 55 bucks for the lot of 3 of them. So, people do buy this stuff. They're not going to buy the loose cards for the most part, but they'll buy the boxes, the factory seal boxes, because they want to do the pack breaks, because maybe that Ken Griffey Jr. card is in there. 1989, 1990 Bowman baseball, complete sets. Got 40 bucks for the two of them. Basically 20 bucks a box. And I know some of these aren't huge money, but it does add up. This one was nice. This was a 1988 Topps. This was the oldest box that he had. It was an 88 Topps football. It was an open box, but it was all factory sealed packs on the inside. And we got a $1.40 for that. So here we go. Lot of 3, 1991-92. Upper Deck Baseball. 100 bucks. Love it. Absolutely love it. Here is 1989 Upper Deck Collector's Choice. Now these, I believe the reason these sold for so high is because I think the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie is in there. Yeah, you can see him. You can't see him. There you go. No. His picture's on there, I promise. I'm pretty sure that's why that went for so high, because his rookie card is in those boxes. Here we have 5 1990 Fleer Baseball. 1990 Fleer Baseball cards. Guys, I got 55 bucks. Again, they're factory sealed boxes, and that's what people want. They want to do the pack breaks. They want to open the packs. I think I was even missing a pack on one of the boxes. Looks like I was missing a pack there. If I remember. Yep, that's right. I was missing a pack on that box. Okay, here's another one of the loose cards we got from that deal. This wasn't junk wax, but this was just, it was in there, so I included it. Got 40 bucks. Cost us 30 to grade it. Again, I don't know why I got the 8, but such is life. Here's 2 unopened 1990 Score football. 45 bucks for those, right? Factory sealed boxes. Factory sealed boxes. Here's 2 1991 Donruss baseball. Factory sealed boxes. 37 bucks. Right? These numbers, they add up. 36 bucks here, $44 here, 40 bucks here, $55 here. Right? They really start to add up. So here's a lot of 7. I just put these all together. 87, 88, 89, and 90. Little Donruss rookie series cards. They weren't factory sealed, but the cards on the inside were still brand new. Like the boxes were open, but these cards were wrapped up. You kind of see on that one right there where it's still got the seal on it, the Mark McGwire there. 55 bucks there. Here we have 5 wax box football cards from 89 and 90, Topps, Fleer, and Score Pro Set. Got 100 bucks for all 5 of those. So here was a 1990-91 NBA Hoops, 80 bucks. 90-91 Skybox, factory sealed basketball, 70 bucks. Lot of 3 89-90 Fleer Upper Deck baseball cards, 38 bucks. Lot of 3 90 and 91 Score Topps and Upper Deck football cards, 50 bucks. Yeah, that's right. Here was another one. Again, not sports cards. It is from the junk wax era time, but these aren't sports cards. I threw it in here because it came from that the purchase where all the other cards came from. So, 65 bucks. Here we have 3 unopened 1991 Fleer NFL football boxes, factory sealed. Got 40 bucks. 92-93 Fleer basketball. Got $1.50. 91-92 Upper Deck basketball. We got 70. A lot of 2 90-91 Topps football, 47. So here we had 5 of the 1990-91 NBA Hoops boxes. We got 80 bucks a box for those. That was nice. So this was part of it as well. These were some wrestling cards. Again, from the time period, late 80s, but these aren't sports cards, obviously. But I included them in here because, again, it came from that purchase. So 120 bucks there. So here we have 1991 Donruss baseball, 45 bucks, and just 3 factory sealed Donruss baseball from 1991. Here is, I put a lot of 1990 Upper Deck baseball. Got a $1.20 there. Here was a lot of 3 NBA Hoops 90-91. 200 bucks there. Here's a lot of 1991 Fleer basketball, or sorry, Fleer baseball. Got $37 there. Here is a 1990 basketball. I think this one was opened. But yeah, okay, yeah, this one was open, but the packs of cards on the inside were still factory sealed. Got $150 for that one. Here's 2 unopened, factory sealed, 91, 92 NBA Hoops. Got $130 there. And then here is 4 90-91 Pro Set football cards. Football boxes. Got $115 there. So now I want to show you guys a little Word document I put together that just has everything added up and with all the numbers on here and all the hours I have involved and everything like that to kind of show you how profitable it could be. So let's come back over here. Okay, so here's how this breaks down. So everything I just showed you is roughly $3,600 in sales. I rounded down a little bit just to get all these to be whole numbers. I either rounded up or down a little bit, but it's really close. So $3,600 in total sales. $1,800 of that is from the Marvel cards. Okay, so $3,600 in sales from the sports cards, and $1,800 from the Marvel cards. So that brings me to a total of $5,400 of sales for the cards. That includes both all of the sports, the football, baseball, basketball, hockey cards, and of course those 10 boxes of Marvel cards. So that brings me up to $5,400 in total sales. Okay, well, I had a $700 initial investment, so that brings me down to $4,700. I paid $300 to SGC to have those 9 cards graded, so that brings me down to $4,400 in profit. Now, on almost all of these, the buyer's paying for shipping. The buyer paid for shipping. The buyer paid for shipping. Right? The buyer paid for shipping. I only did free shipping, I think, on maybe one of these. That's not, yeah. So, I mean, they're almost all, if not all of them, are paid shipping. So really, my expenses for this are the label itself, the physical label itself, because the buyer paid for the postage. So, I have a half a penny, if that, into the physical label itself. The box, the box and the void fill that went in the box, all of which I go dumpster diving and find completely for free. And then the tape, right, and some of the other stuff. So that all of that stuff I do purchase. So a couple dollars maybe, right? So if it's 4,400 in profit, take out $10 or so, and I think that's even being a little too much. Let's take out $100. So that brings me to 4,300, right? But we'll keep it at 4,400 bucks because again, it's really minimal. So after it was all said and done, I do still have to pay taxes on this, of course. But after my $700 investment, after the fees and everything I've had to pay, and after the $300 that I had to spend to get the cards graded, I put 4,400 bucks in my pocket. Well, it took me about 2 weeks time, 2 weeks full time, 80 hours to get all of this accomplished, to get everything researched, to get all the pictures taken and everything up, and all of the stuff that has to happen to get myself to the point where I could make $4,400 in profit. It took me about 2 weeks of effort. Now, it wasn't 2 weeks of consistent effort. It was like a day here, a couple hours there, a couple hours here, a day off the following day doing something else, action figures or something, and then back to this, right? So, but over the course of a month or so, I probably put in about roughly two full weeks of effort, or roughly 80 hours. Well, if you take the $4,400 and you divide that by the 80 hours I put into it, it's roughly $56.26 per hour, or we'll just round down. So I made roughly $56 an hour as of right now today from that purchase. Or I put about a little over $4,000 profit into my pocket. I'll take that all day long. That is an amazing return on investment. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, okay, that's great, but you had those Marvel cards. Those Marvel cards aren't necessarily quote unquote junk wax cards. They're from the era, but they're not technically junk wax cards. And I agree with you. I only put them in here because it was part of the $700 purchase that I made. So let's take them out. So I did, we had the 10 boxes. They sold for $180 a box. The buyer paid for shipping. So that's where I get the $1,800 in Marvel sales. So if we take the $4,400 profit and we subtract the $1,800 that actually came from the Marvel cards, and after all the other fees, right, after the investment and after the SGC grading, it leaves us with $2,600 into our pocket. Well, that equates to about $33 an hour. If you divide it by the 80 hours that we worked on this, that brings us to about $33 an hour. That is not bad. $33 an hour flipping junk wax era cards. I'll take that all day long, right? If I can, but I think part of the key here, and what I really want to stress, is that yes, junk wax era cards can be profitable, but you need to be careful and just take my recommendation and try to find factory sealed boxes. That's what you're looking for, preferably basketball. If you can find factory sealed boxes of basketball cards, NBA hoops, Fleer, those from the late 80s, of course, right? But the middle 80s, 86, 87, you find some factory sealed boxes there, and you're talking really big money. But the 89s, the 90s, the 91s, the 92s, like I just showed you guys, some of those factory sealed boxes went for $150 a box, right? And so those, the basketball cards is really what amounted for a big portion of the profit. But even some of the score baseball cards, when I lotted them up together, I was getting $20-25 a box. I would put 4 or 5 of them together and get $100, And if you can get these things for cheap enough, if you can get them for $1 or $2 a box, or even $3 a box, if you can get them for $3 a box and sell it for $20, $25, and you can lot them up, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer because it's really easy work. It's not. I had to carry them upstairs, but depending on your situation, if you don't live on the 3rd floor of an apartment, you don't have to carry all that stuff upstairs. It's nothing to take pictures and list it because it's factory sealed. And it's just for me, it was easy. And you seen it, I had about 80 hours into it. Roughly, I think I even had a little less than that, but so, you know, $56 an hour if you factor in the Marvel cards, or $3,300 an hour is what I made if you take out the sports cards. I will take that type of return on my investment all day long, and I still have there. So there was another box of Marvel cards from 1991 or 90, whatever it is. It's like a $1,200 box. It hasn't sold yet, but it's up in the store right now. So when that sells, just tack on 1,200 more. And the only time investment I have at this point is the time it'll take me to put that in a to ship it, to print the label, to put it in a box, and drive to the post office or FedEx or whatever, and ship it to whoever, to the post office. I'll insure it. So that'll add another $1,000 to $1,200 there. I have another couple $100 in just card, and I mean there's a few more baseball cards that are up in the store right now that I might be asking a little bit too much for. But there's a couple $100 still in factory sealed boxes. So I mean I've got about $1,400 worth of cards still uplisted right now from that purchase. So that's going to push, let's just say it's another $1,200 after fees and everything. So that puts me, if you take out the Marvel cards, well, I guess so if we leave in the Marvel cards, that takes me to what, $5,600 profit, right? So I guess the long and short of this is absolutely yes. Junk wax era cards can be profitable if you get the right ones, if you get factory seal boxes. That's my recommendation. That's what I would tell you to do. If you can find factory seal boxes of junk wax era sports cards and you can get them for a good enough price, buy them, because people will buy them on eBay. They absolutely will. I just showed you my numbers, right? A couple $1,000 off of a couple $100 investment. So anyway, smash that like button, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff if you found this informational or helpful or anything like that. Again, I'm Eric from ReliableResellers.net. I really appreciate you watching, and have a good day, and we'll see you next time. See ya.